Being a leader is a lot easier than most people think it is. This is going to be 3 super simple tips that you can use immediately to be a good host, a good leader, and to have people see you as a leader. This number one tip is absolutely crucial because a lot of people think as a leader you're trying to control everything or you're trying to always be the center of attention. This doesn't work because people have to want you to lead. So number one that is really powerful is get the quiet people involved. And this is so easy to do. That's the great thing about these tips. When you are having a discussion, when there's a conversation, you notice people who are quiet, who aren't speaking, especially if they look like they might want to say something, and you just say, Madeline, what do you think? Or, Chris, you know something about this, right? All it takes is one little word to give them the spotlight for a second, even if they're a little bit shy, even if they have trouble speaking, they almost always appreciate it. And even aside from them, other people seeing that will appreciate it as well. It just shows that you're taking care of the group. It is so powerful. And this works even if you're shy yourself. You don't need to focus on always directing the conversation or always speaking. You can focus on seeing what needs to happen, sitting back, watching, and giving that person that little positive nudge. In order to avoid tons of issues and have your group run so much better, set standards of behavior and conduct in advance. Make them known, make it known what would be a problem before the problem occurs. When you do this, you will avoid so many issues and so much conflict. I'll give you an example when I did this incorrectly and then I did it the right way. I run a group for creators in my city. And unfortunately, in my city, it's very common to just have these very intense political beliefs and to talk about them and feel that anyone who doesn't share them is awful. And for me, that's not what the group is about. It's not about politics. So I had a few people do this and I had to ask them to stop, and they went pretty didn't respond too well. Part of that is these people are somewhat brainwashed. But the adjustment I made is now to join the group, you have to literally say, do you agree to not talk politics? Yes. And it has a written, firm example of why people were removed from the group. Now that might sound harsh, but by doing that, you're going to first of all filter out a lot of people who don't want to follow those standards just because they won't join because they know it's not for them. If people argue the standard very early on, you filter them out then and there. But even more importantly, it shows people how to act. They might not know, they might not realize. So if they know your standard, they're far more likely to follow it. And if they don't follow it, if they do it accidentally, they don't follow it, it's a lot less personal, right? If someone's doing something, I'm like, hey, you can't do that, they might think, what's wrong with me? But if they've read the standards, like, hey, just we don't do that, they've read it before. So it's more about the policy, and it's not about me versus them, about you versus them. So it's so powerful. Set your standards in advance, and not just negative ones. It could be positive ones. Let's keep a positive attitude. Let's work hard. You're setting a blueprint for how people ought to act under your leadership, but without making it feel like they're under your leadership. You want it to be the group standards so they don't feel like you're nitpicking them in the moment. It was set in advance. This one is so simple, but do not overlook this. Keep it in mind, it is very powerful. Say hi and bye to everyone. If you do nothing else, this is incredible. Another quick story. I went on a trip. It was a group trip. It was very cool. I had nothing to do with it. It was an opportunity I had. I have the habit of just saying hi to people. When someone comes to a table, if someone's sitting nearby, I'll say hi, I'll introduce myself. And I'm not doing anything special. It's like, hey, what's your name? My name's Winning Communication. And people started asking me on this trip, are you the leader? They would literally go to me and say, are you the leader? So that illustrates this point so powerfully. When you say hi and bye to people, you're just taking ownership of making people feel welcome. And that's what good leadership is. You're managing the group for the benefit of the group. Really, I want you to keep this in mind. Say hi and bye to people. It's the smallest thing. If you do nothing else, and whenever someone arrives, you go over and you quickly say hi, it will create a great environment. It will signify you as the leader in a positive way, in a offering value way. And another bonus of that is it makes socializing easier for you. Because if you're in a conversation, you run out of things to say or whatever, when you're jumping around from group to group, from person to person, saying hi, it makes you actually more in demand, and it's actually easier to do than holding court, telling constant stories or what have you. So that's it. Subscribe, like, it helps me out if you like, if you comment. I hope you got a lot out of this video. Have a wonderful day.